So how many of you have heard of the ACEs study, Adverse Childhood Experiences? So 2. Hang on to that thought, 3. It's quite important. The other thing I'd ask is, how many of you have had a strong gut feeling or an intuition that you ignored and then regretted? Okay, almost everybody. So how about the opposite case? How many people have ignored a gut feeling and were glad you did? Okay, just 1. So what's going on there? We have this inner guidance system, these intuitions that have kept us alive for hundreds of thousands of years. We've discovered that our intuitions, our gut feelings, are smarter than our second guessing, and yet we don't follow them. We don't trust them. Why is that? In my experience, it's because you disconnected from yourself at some point in your life, usually because of a childhood trauma. Now you might be thinking, no, that wasn't me. I wasn't traumatized. Because we think of trauma as being big, scary, nasty, horrible things. And it's true. Horrible things happen. When I was 4 and 7, my grandfather raped me. But that was not the trauma. The trauma had happened years before, in my parents' childhood, when they were traumatized. So they weren't emotionally available or present for me. So there was nobody to talk to, nowhere to go, no way to get help. And if you think about being a little kid, remember when you were a little kid and, the world was kind of big and sometimes exciting and maybe a little bit scary. You needed your parents. You needed that kind of secure, stable, attuned adult and that nervous system to anchor yourself to. But when it's not there, you have to shut off. You have to cut it all away. And that's what I did. I completely erased the memories, the feelings, my body, my awareness. And I was like that for years. And that's where the ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences, come in. It's a study. It is a fancy word of saying trauma. And long story short, the more traumatized you've been as a child, the more likely you are to have illness, addiction, depression, suicide attempts, and die early. So my mother, my girlfriend Karina, and I all had 6 ACEs in our childhood that I'm aware of. My mother died at 62 of lung cancer. Karina died at 54 of tonsil cancer. To quote Monty Python, I'm not dead yet, but it's been a hard ride in some ways. For roughly the first 40 years of my life, I just kind of pretended all that stuff hadn't really happened. Just kind of tiptoed past it. But when my mother died of cancer, I was turning 40, the wheels came off my life. And I got mega depressed, and that kicked off about 4 years of pretty intense therapy. 2 to 3 times a week, hypnosis, healings, body work. I mean, anything I could get my hands on to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And at that same time, I became a psychotherapist to kind of help people in the ways that I had. And in that process, one of the things I discovered was that talk therapy, while powerful, doesn't touch trauma. Because trauma is in your unconscious mind, it's in your nervous system, it's in your body. And talking about it, positive thinking, coaching, while powerful in their own ways, don't touch it. Now, fortunately, I was able to discover a variety of methods, some very ancient, some very recent, that go directly into the unconscious mind, directly into the nervous system, and clean these things out. And it makes a huge difference. So if you're at all interested, 1, check out the ACEs study, Google it, to see, what you might have been affected by. But also I can do a demonstration after the talk of one of the memory methods. So if you're interested, stop by. Thank you.
Thank you very much.